So check out these like crunchy little guys. This is like the fanciest cornflake prawn you've ever seen. This is my version of a little known dish called Bali Prawns. Okay, so I know a lot of like crispy deep fried dishes, but these prawns, I had never heard of this dish before, and actually we were cooking something else deep fried and delicious and crunchy, and that was chicken 65 a little while ago, and someone suggested in the comments of that video that we should be cooking Bali prawns. Now, funnily enough, these prawns are not from Bali. So there's a place in Indonesia called Bali. This is not the prawns from Bali. This is actually an Indian prawn dish. I could find very little information about it online, but when I did look up some of the recipes, it looked incredibly delicious. So here's my version. If you guys know the story of Bali prawns or have a different version, please let me know. But first things first, we want to get a marinade going. So this is really delicious, this marinade. We start off with some Kashmiri chili powder. Now this is just like a mild, very red chili powder. If you don't have Kashmiri chili powder, just use a bit of sweet paprika and a little bit of regular chili powder. I also want some turmeric here. You also want some lemon juice here. And some ginger. Some garlic. So the thing I really love about this marinade is that even though it looks kind of like fiery red, it's actually very mild because that chili powder is mild. So this is a really great one for kids. My kids really liked this when I tested it out on them at home. And I want some salt and pepper here as well. Now with the prawns, I've got some really super large prawns here. And you want to cut through the belly, basically kind of like butterflying out your prawns. So you get a shape that's like this. I'm just going to leave these here while I get my crumbing station set up. So I need some eggs. And then here's our little special ingredient, cornflakes. These go so crispy and crunchy when you fry them. But what I do want to do is just kind of like break them up a little bit. So before I get my prawns crumbed, what I'm going to do is make a little tangy dipping sauce. So I'm going to make what's called a tamarind chutney. Now I need some tamarind concentrate. I need some brown sugar. And then a few little spices here. Some Kashmiri chili powder again. And some ground cumin. Now some salt here as well. Now a dash of water. And we just heat that until we've got kind of like a thick, syrupy thing going on. Okay, so now we can do our prawns. And we're going to do my little crumbing method here so that you don't make a huge mess, just a little mess. But if you try and think of your left hand wet hand, right hand dry hand, just keep repeating that little rhyme in your head. Left hand grabs my wet prawns into the corn flour, right hand dry hand then comes in and does the flour work. And that way you kind of don't end up with big massive clumps of stuff stuck to your hands at the end. Okay, so into the egg. Okay, so that coating is looking fairly delightful right now. You can see all that like craggliness going on. That's going to turn all crispy and crunchy and delicious in the oil. Okay, so time for our little friends here to get all crispy and crunchy. Now I've got some hot oil here. You can test that by dipping a wooden spoon in there. And we've got lots of nice little bubbles. Okay, my favorite part. I love to deep fry things. Must have worked in like a fish and chip shop in a previous life or something, I don't know. Okay, in we go. Now, as usual, you don't want to overcrowd the pan because overcrowding the oil means that the temperature drops, which means then that you start to get oil soaking into your food. So that really is the key to deep frying and not ending up with an oily finished product. Now these don't take long, just a couple of minutes. Just give them a flip every now and then. That cornflake crumbing is like so genius. Okay, so these are looking golden and delicious though, so I'm going to take them out. And this is the kind of crispy coating as well, guys, that really stays nice and crisp. So I'm often looking for like party foods that I can sort of cook at home and then transport to a friend's house or a picnic or something like that. So you could cook these at home, drain them, and then just keep them warm until you get to the party. I mean, who doesn't love someone that turns up with something crispy and deep fried? It's like an instant friend maker. I mean, you don't want to be the person that turns up with the salad. the green vegetable salad or whatever. Okay, these are looking pretty good. Now, as with anything deep fried out of the hot oil, you want to hit them with some salt while they're still nice and warm. And then to serve these guys up, I just like to pour a little bit of our sauce into a dipping bowl. I've got a little banana leaf situation going on here because I thought that was quite nice. Let's place those on there. All right, so let's get in here now. Just gonna do a little dip. That crunch is so incredible. Like I would just say, just that beautiful. I'm spitting everywhere now. It's so delicious. It's just juices flying everywhere. No, it's just so like that marinade that we made at the beginning is so simple, but it adds just the perfect amount of like sort of beautifully spiced, garlicky, gingery kind of flavor. Those cornflakes though. So genius. Oh my goodness. I could eat so many of these. They really are so good. Definitely a good way to make friends, this one. Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, why not hit the like button? And even better, I would love so much if you would subscribe and even hit that little bell button so you get notified every time I release a new delicious video. Thanks guys.